Hello, my fellow Rome 2 players. Zaript here with Russian Prince. Hello.
Hello.
I also believe that we have Unicorn Attack and Vim in TeamSpeak with us. Hello, guys.
You.
Well, yes, at least Unicorn Attack is here. But we are on a field actually with Russian Prince, streaming and casting game, second game of a match between Stradomski and AllariH. And this is finals of Sich Cup 2014, 1v1 Rome 2 category. I will put a link to the brackets in description. It's actually quite an interesting brackets. There were such players as Levelin from Agartha, Argitorix from Agartha, and Greek Heracles, a very strong Rome 2 player. And let's see how this match goes, because in the first game, AllariH won, counterpicked Averni with Macedon. Was quite an interesting game, not sure if I showed it well enough, but I'm just warming up for Rome. And obviously what limiting me here is the fact that I'm a bit stuck on work and don't have much time to play Total War at all, which I hope will change after May 14th.
Hey,
I'm mostly playing Dark
You're
Souls.
playing Dark Souls.
Yes, well, that's where my free time goes. And I have a bit of an allergy with which messes up with my mind, of course. But anyway, what do we have for Pontus and AllariH?
For Pontus and AllariH, we have two mercenary Scythian horse archers up front, doing a bit of skirmishing against that 3 REI. But 3 REI is heavily armored and in a very wide formation, so not taking too much damage. Then we have, let's see, we have 4 Eastern Slingers and nothing else in terms of foot skirmishers. So that's his foot skirmisher department. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Levy Pikes up front, supported by 1 Pontic Swordsman on the right and 1 Pontic Swordsman on the left. He is using his, his general is in a Pontic Royal Cav unit, and for the rest of his Cav, we've got Noble Blood Cav and Pontic Royal Cav on the right. As for the left, it is Pontic Royal Cav and I can't see, probably Noble Blood Cav again.
Yeah, and it's incredibly laggy.
Yeah, and he's hiding something, but yeah, the lag is insane.
Yeah, I guess additional spectators still affects the game. So his idea with Cavalry very similar to the first game. It's a bit of asymmetry which changes through the game, and you can see how he changed his position accordingly to what Stradomski does. He decided not to go hill versus hill because Stradomski have slight advantage in that forest, I would assume, in terms of skirmishing. I would also assume that, yeah, and obviously AllariH wants to not take a fight where Stradomski have advantage just because he has this skirmishing cavalry, and he probably is defender. I'm not sure, but 5 pikeman levy if you attack sounds strange.
Yeah.
So what do we have for Stradomski and Rome? He actually acts like a defender, really. So let's see. His front line is 3 Evocati cohort, 1 legendary Principes. That's all his swords from what I can see. Then there is Triari on one and another flank, Gladiator Spearman on one and another flank. For his skirmishing, Velitas, and 1 Auxiliary Balearic Slingers. So 1 long range unit. Then there is 2 Sorci Equitas Extraordinary, 2 legendary, 1 legendary cavalry, 1 Sorci Equitas, 1 more slingers, and his general is general and bodyguard. Fairly balanced build. He have a little bit of everything, and he doesn't have elephants. Interesting.
No. Well, it's okay because he's Rome. So, and those elephants are very expensive, and they're not as good anymore, I guess. And they were never good since it's Roman elephants. They were just okay.
Yeah,
but
and
what I'm more surprised about is that we have no chariots for for
Pontus, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Chariot's
surprised
mass
me the
was
most.
decreased in one of the patches, so they seem to be more of a late game tool. But this is definitely what I like to see. This type of builds and gameplay, it without any gimmicky units. It's more like our typical Total War, but man, what a laggy game it
So
is.
slow.
Yeah. Well, some people like it slow. So we see the front line approach against this pikeman. There is already Sling of Fire pouring down. But we will see, these Velitas can actually decimate this Levy pikeman quite fast, in my opinion, if they get close enough. They're not very good, but pikemen don't have very good missile block chance on their shields. At least that much I know.
I guess that's why he brought Velitas.
Yeah.
There's not much else he could kill.
Yeah,
Besides,
if you think
Cav, I
about
guess.
Pontus, indeed, Pontus can bring Levy pikeman, well, bronze shield pikeman, but I don't think they're worth
too
it
expensive.
with
Yeah.
current price, yeah. So Velitas starting to shoot, and let's see how fast it goes. Not very convincing yet. Around from 3 to 8 kills in a volley.
But, yeah, but it's remember this game has an HP system. An
Yeah, it
armor
should
system.
get significantly faster. But at the same time, this Velitas taking heavy damage from Eastern Slingers, and we can see some sort of a cavalry fight already starting on other flank, on left flank of Pontus. So
but
Velitas.
that's-
No, I don't think exchange is good enough at the moment. Levy pikeman definitely dying out most to both Slingers and Velitas. So very soon the middle will be broken, and there is cavalry in reserves for Stradomski, so that will definitely play its role. And this cavalry fight on a flank, is definitely not in favor of AllariH, because there is Triari and Spearman
Not
engaged.
sure.
No,
It depends on what the Stradomski sends.
Yeah, well, he can send anything because AllariH can send nothing. Like, it's... I think it's very clear that this cavalry will die out for AllariH. I'm pretty sure.
The Triarii is dying. It's like 68 men left.
Yeah, surprising. Surprising. Dying to Noble Blood Cavalry or... No, actually it was Pontic Royal Cavalry and it killed quite much.
And there, this could go in Pontus' favor,
Yeah,
actually.
Pontic Swordsman...
If
no.
that Triarii dies.
I just don't see it going that way. And
But nice legionaries in the back of those two units. Noble Blood Cav and Pontic Swordsman.
yeah, and you see
But
how
yeah,
there is really not much AllariH can do in terms of supporting that fight. Because his slingers are forced away, and his Levy pikeman is pretty much useless in such an engagement. They cannot envelope effectively. Oh, but yeah, indeed, Sociquitas wavering, but Sociquitas Extraordinary will seal the deal, likely. Yeah, charge right here. We can see that other streamer discusses the same thing. It's Jur from VM, and yes, this flank is completely over for AllariH. His general is depleted, and it's going to be clean up for Stradomski from this point, I believe. And this is a weakness of AllariH build. You see, he had to make something happen with his cavalry. He had to do it because when his Levy pikemen are out of the game, his skirmishes are easily caught, and all he can do is kill Velitas, but his skirmishes couldn't do enough damage to Swordsman, from what I can understand. And he couldn't in any way take out cavalry of Stradomski, which will finish the slingers later. So he had to start a fight, he had to make something happen, but he couldn't support his cavalry with slingers or pikemen, because they're already engaged in the middle. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That was
That
unicorn.
was scary.
Yeah. Made me jump.
Okay. So, I guess a bit of misjudge on AllariH part. He took enough cavalry, but this cavalry wasn't... he shouldn't have taken the fight near enemy spears and enemy infantry.
I forgot how long engagements last here.
Well, and the game lags a bit. So
Yeah.
that definitely adds to experience. Oh, from behind, this Levy pikeman killed so fast. Yeah, so from what we can see, stronger cavalry contingent doesn't go very well with pikeman corps. Well, not a corps, it's very cheap pike line, but still. I guess he hoped that support of that Pontic swordsman will somehow help him deal with Triari.
Well, the thing is, his swords would not be good enough to cost effective enough to deal with the Roman swords. So
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of option he really has.
Well, he had an option of supporting that fight with Slinger's fire, but it was like two separate engagements. Exactly what Stradomski wanted, and exactly what AllariH didn't want. Maybe he should have rotated farther and farther and wait for a time where half of Stradomski forces are a bit too far away, like to match his main force, like this, like have his main force against smaller portion of Stradomski forces, while Stradomski would be flanking around. And then maybe he could have focused fire on Triari, put cavalry, Pontic swordsman in. That could have been a chance, I'm not sure. And obviously you want
he's trying to get to the skirmishers. Sorry.
Yeah, and keep kiting, I guess. And he will actually get to them. We can see that mercenary seasoned horse archers from behind charging, but now they're retreating. Oh, I think he's losing his chance here. And he's focusing his whole fire, but here comes General. Will Stradomski notice his mistake? Yes, he does. Oh no, his gen still goes into pikeman because they're not in a pike formation. He noticed this mistake of AllariH, and they're still not, just now they're getting into it, but it's too late. Slinger's already caught,
Yeah.
and last chance of AllariH just slipping through his hands. Interesting game in terms of how exactly you plan to utilize pikes in a current state of a game. You definitely want to kind of turn your wall until, like, while enemy flanks around you. And just because enemy have to go longer distance, that will at some point hopefully allow you to attack one flank with more forces than your enemy can get there fast. And your wall will be staying behind his flank and fight. That's, I suppose, the only way to make good use of pike wall if you're not pike boxing. So you kinda allow enemy to flank you. But what Stradomski did, he didn't flank at all. He just frontally came and started exchanging. And those exchanges went into Stradomski favor. He was exchanging cheap velitas for pikes and eastern slingers. And without these pikes there were no stability and in Pontus build. It was quite heavily reliant on cavalry and skirmishes. While Rome was losing none of its infantry at all, except for velitas. Interesting game, and it shows once again why sword plus cavalry builds were so popular with in that French tournament that was hosted by Razes. But we see quite a number of skirmishes on this map. Very interesting. So see you guys in game 3 if we are allowed to cast it, because this one was even laggier than the first one. See you guys soon, I hope.
See you next game.